my main.dat file, there is this const launch here. I have added it, and I have removed the longer code and replaced it with this custom class called launcher. Now, a custom class. Custom class, it is just a widget that helps a Flutter developer to make sure that he or she arranges her code in one file. The purpose of the custom widget is to help a developer to break large codes into smaller codes that can be integrated to form one code that can be executed in a single place. And there is two types of custom widgets, that is StatelessWidget and there is StatefulWidget. But for the time being, I'm going to just give you the overview of the widgets, and we shall execute them later when we are going to create this new expense custom widget. So let's dive straight into the launcher widget and see how it is built. Allow me just to give you the overview of how a widget can be a custom widget. So this is a custom widget called launcher and extend the stateless widget. And there is this keyword here named extend. That keyword means that this class launcher, it is inheriting from StatelessWidget. That means that all the functionality that exists on the StatelessWidget, they are going to be also be executed on this launcher class. What is a class? Class is just a blueprint of an object, and every class must contain constructor, and a constructor is an instance of a class. A constructor can just be used to instantiate a class, that is to declare a class in a separate file. And if you want to call this launcher in another file, we are going to use this constructor here to initialize or to call it in another file. For example, how I have called this launcher class here, I have used a constructor, this constructor here. So the constructor is just an instance of a class, and inside a constructor you are going to pass this super.keyword, and the purpose of key is to uniquely identify a widget on a widget tree. Another functionality that you are going to see inside custom widget is this build keyword. The function of this build widget, its purpose is to execute or is to parent the UI that you want to execute, or the UI that you want to be shown to the user when he or she opens your application. And the build keyword, it returns a value, and if you are going to create a custom widget that is going to execute a new screen, you need to return the scaffold widget so that you can have some functionalities like app bars, actions, body, and many more features that they are being availed by the app bar. Following is just an overview of an app bar. So an app bar contains these things, that is title, actions, background color, foreground color, body, bottom navigation bar, and a drawer. But for the time being, I'm going to leave bottom navigation bar and the drawer outside, but I am going to explain the other things that you need to know. So to instantiate or to initialize an app bar, just type inside the scaffold, type app bar, and the app bar keyword, it needs a value of app bar widget, and inside the app bar there is this title named argument, and it requires a text widget, and the text widget is just function is to render the title of the application of your application, because the app bar sits on the topmost of your application when it launches. The text widget, it contains other features like style keyword that accept arguments like Google font and text style, and the purpose of this styling is just to customize this title the way you want in terms of font size, font weight, colors, and many more. Another feature that is being availed inside the app bars, it is the action keyword, and the action keyword, it accepts a list of arguments. A list is just something like an array, and inside the action is where you implement things like buttons that a user that is using your mobile application click to navigate to another screens or to another website or to other pages. So for example, and the action keyword, it needs a list of buttons, and in Flutter there is different types of buttons that you can use. You can use either icon button, elevated button, text button, based on your preference. And don't worry about the buttons, because we are going to explore them more and dive deeper onto buttons and to see how buttons are executed in terms of the keywords like onPressed, that onPressed here that requires a function, and in terms of icon, in terms of colors, in terms of text, and many more features that can be included on your on buttons to customize them. But for the time being, I'm going to use an icon button here, and the purpose of the icon button is just to display an icon, and it allows you as a developer to pass a function that can be executed when a user clicks on that button. And the another keyword feature that is implemented on an app bar, it is the background color that manipulates or customizes the background color of the app bars. And the foreground color, it just sets the color of the text that is rendered on the app bar widget. And another thing about the scaffold, or another feature that is included on the scaffold, it is the body. And the body, it is what carries the main widget of your application. It is the main entry point of your application that is going to be rendered. Thank you for listening, and on the next section we are going to start to build this custom widget called new expense, and I am going to show you how to build a custom widget from ground up. Thank you for listening.